Awesome. Cool. Well, I don't even know where to start after that. That's amazing. So thank you. It's just, again, an honor to be the pastor of LifeChange Church and to call each of you guys just attendees, congregants. Just amazing just to be able to be the pastor here. So it's incredible. And we are in the middle of a series entitled Go Time. So we're actually in week 4 of this series. And so this series, again, is really the start to our 2-year generosity initiative called Go Time. So this is, it's just a crazy thing that we are jumping into, and we are, as a church, we have grown. We're going to the next step, even in our faith as well. And this initiative is one that we want everyone to be a part of. We want everybody to jump in, because I believe that this is going to spur us on as individuals and as a church to the next level with Jesus, and to where Jesus really wants us to go. And I think we're going to look back at this time, and I think we're going to look back on this series. I think we're going to look back on this season, and we're going to see that it marked a time where God really started to do some amazing things. I mean, he's already done some amazing things, but I think he's really telling us he's just getting started. So this is one of those series that, as intense as it is, we want you to jump in. We want you to engage with it. So if you've been here, or this is like your first time here, or if you missed a couple, we actually want you to go back and go jump in and watch them online, watch them on Facebook, watch them on YouTube. And again, this is a generosity initiative. So in the series, we're talking about finances, and we're in like week 4 of that. And if you've been with LifeChange Church, we've been around for 8 years. I've never done that. And so, never talked about finances this many times. And some of you are like, dude, this is a stretch. Like, hey, it's supposed to be a stretch, right? Because our finances really link to our faith. And I believe God's calling us to go to the next level in our faith. And this is why Go Time is just, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So if you're a first-time guest around here and thinking like, whoa, what did I come into? Listen, we love you. We're so grateful that you're here. We're so pumped that you're here. And we don't have any expectations of you being here. What we want to do is we just want to love on you and bless you. And we hope that you connect with us. But at the same time, it's a great time to come, because you could be on the ground level of what God is doing. And I think God's doing some incredibly special things. I believe he's called us to expand his kingdom like no other. And I think he's even put some opportunities in front of us that really will potentially take us to places that we've never been to before as a church, and even individually. I believe without a shadow of doubt that God is calling us to love more people to life change. And this is what this series is all about. But obviously, loving more people to life change, we have some barriers, we have some obstacles in the way as well. If you haven't noticed, we have what's called a space issue. And so a lot of times what you'll end up, you're sitting on top of your neighbor, and it's really uncomfortable, right? You're like two elbow, there's not enough space. So if you look at it, we have to address these things. Right, we've talked about this before, but we've had Sundays where people drove in the parking lot and there wasn't a parking space and they had to drive off. So that's terrible, it breaks my heart. Our kids' life is packed out. There's a ton of kids back there, right? And when I say back there, they're actually meeting in a garage, which DJ pointed out to us last week, and put it in real terms, right? That's not the most comfortable thing. And there's some times where we're to the space where it's just not comfortable. And so God's calling us to something bigger. And this is a season where we're declaring it's go time. And this is what the series is about. This is what this initiative is about. It's to move forward and become the church that I believe God has called each and every one of us to be. Because together we are the church. And we're called to love more people to life change. And this is what this is about. And again, this initiative, we're calling this, it's a one fund. Everything's going into one giant fund so that every single person can play a part. Right, the primary goal of this is 100% engagement. The primary goal of this is discipleship. Listen, we're trying to lay out an opportunity for everybody just to say yes to Jesus. Right? Yeah, it deals with our finances, but the bigger picture is a faith picture. The bigger picture is a spiritual journey picture. The bigger picture is the fact that we get to say yes to Jesus. And this one fund is an opportunity for everybody to jump in. In fact, we want to make this super easy. So just a heads up, next Sunday is our commitment Sunday, November 6th, next Sunday. We're all going to fill out a commitment card. And we're all going to have this ready, and we're going to turn this in together. And our goal is for everybody to do it. In fact, there's an example of this in the booklet. On page 21, I believe, is a printout and kind of a shot of this if you don't have your booklet. And if you do have a booklet, I would challenge you to stop by the little booth out there. There's all sorts of information, whether booklet, commitment cards, t-shirts, Go Time, squishy bikes, all that good stuff for you, right? But I challenge you to follow along. But this is the commitment card that we're going to fill out next week. And I want to make this super easy for each and every one of us. If you look at it, that orange highlighted is really the box that everybody's going to put a number in there. We're hoping that everybody puts a number in there. And that's your 2-year commitment. 2-year commitment starting December of this year, 2022, going through the end of November 2024. For our first give day will be the first Sunday in December. If you look at that, though, this is the 2-year commitment. You're going to put your number in that box. Some of you guys are thinking like, whoa, that's crazy, 2 years? Like, I give money, but like 2 years is a big deal. And listen, we believe God's going to do some crazy things, and it's going to take time. And he's going to work in and through us, each of us, through 2 years. So that orange box is really the big number, and then above that are just some blanks that really lead you to that number. So again, the one fund, it includes everything that you're already giving to LifeChange Church. So you can look back and say, you know what, I give this amount each year. I want to continue to give this amount each year. So that's where you're going to put in what we normally give in 1 year. And then maybe through this, you're thinking, oh, God's going to stretch. God's kind of stretching me. God's maybe asking me to give maybe $100 more each year. Or God's asking me to give maybe $10 more each month. Or God's maybe even getting crazy and saying, you know what, I'm going to double my giving. Or whatever it is. Like whatever God's asking you to do above and beyond what you're doing, you're going to fill that in per year. Total that up. Times it by 2 because, again, it's 2 years. And then you're going to get that number. And then below that, it says, my gift from stored resources. Some of you are like, well, I don't have any stored resources. That would be like a savings account. And well, that is 0 right now, right? So some of you are like, I'm out of that one. But the truth is, no, we all have some stored resources, right? It doesn't necessarily mean to be a savings. It could be a savings. Maybe you have a savings. Maybe God's blessed you with that. Maybe God's blessed you with some investments. Maybe God's blessed you with even land that you're thinking of selling in these next 2 years. Or maybe it's just as simple as something that you want to sell, right? Maybe it's as simple as a 1980s King Griffey Jr. rookie card. Like, I'm just saying it out there that maybe I have that. If anybody wants to buy it, I might use it for go time, right? But maybe it's something that's just going back into something that you have that you think like, you know what? I've held on to this. This is valuable to me, but I'm going to sacrifice it. I want to give it so that the God's kingdom can be furthered. Whatever that is, mark that down, and then you add all those up, and that's how you get to that 2-year commitment. And again, the goal is that everybody plays a part. Everybody can play a part as well. And every dollar received over the next 2 years is going into the Go Time initiative. And again, just to recap, every dollar is going into that, and it's going into the 4 heartbeats of LifeChange Church: the connect, grow, give, and replicate. In fact, those have been the 4 heartbeats since really we started. You see the banners on the wall. Right? It starts with that. So we're going into this, and again, they're going into these 4 categories. Connect is actually going to allow us to continue to connect with God and connect with each other. That's really the day-to-day operations, the ministries that are existing right now of LifeChange Church. And so this takes into account the annual budget that we usually have, which is $200,000. We're going to do that. So over 2 years, that's $400,000 that's going to go to connect. And then, again, grow. This is the fun one. This is what we talked about. This is the space barriers we have. We need to expand our space. Right? We need to expand our parking. We need to expand our kids' life. We need to make more room. So $725,000 of this is to go to help in those steps of growth. And then from day one, we've given. So $40,000 of this that we want to raise is we want to give it back to the community. We want to give it back to missionaries. Right? We want to give it back to ministries, both local and even abroad as well. And then, well, $35,000 we want to give to replicate. Right? It's not just about adding, but it's about multiplying. And from day one, we've been a church plant that wants to plant other churches. We want to help other church plants. So $35,000 will be designated to help other church plants. And again, if you add this up, it's $1.2 million. And this may seem crazy, but here's what I know. God does some amazing things through our generosity. God does some amazing things when we take a step of faith and we say yes, and we declare it's go time. And God's going to work through us. He's going to work through each and every one of us. And as we work together, as we all engage, I believe God's going to do some amazing things. In fact, just last Sunday, we had an incredible evening that was kind of the start to all of this. Right? We had an incredible evening where many people just took the first initial step and led the way. As many of you know, we gathered together, our staff, our leaders. It was open to everybody, so many people who attended. They came last Sunday evening to LifeChange, and we did what was called the Advanced Commitment Night, where we made our commitments early, really to inspire the rest as we prepare for next week. And well, check out this cool video about it.
In this place, I feel like I belong. In this place, I feel like I want to stay here, and that this is where my future is taking me, which I haven't felt before, which is really lovely.
Go time to us means stepping into faith and just trusting God, and whatever it is that how we give our finances tithe, that it's going to build a bigger and better thing for not just physically, but spiritually, and kind of building our community. That's what we're looking to get out of Go Time. So
I'm most excited to see just the impact that it has on our kids' life. All of our kids just learning to give their time, their things, and their money. Just what that looks like for each and every person that we teach in there.
Go time means to me a chance to give back, because I've been given so much in my life from the Lord, and it's just time for me to give back now. You know, I've been blessed in so many ways.
What I'm looking forward to most about Go Time is just trusting God and seeing where it takes us.
The thing I'm most excited about Go Time is new building. Cool.
It's always fun to hear people say, I gave more and everything in my life increased, because it isn't just their money that increases, it's the richness of what God is giving to them. So,
The most exciting thing about Go Time is I'd have to agree with Shandy, getting to hear the testimonies from other people and how God's worked in their lives individually.
What's going to have to change is my trust in the Lord and what He's going to do. Whether my finances look super stable or not, I got to trust Him.
Go Time means to me is action.
Do we feel up to the challenge? Yeah, we're up to the challenge.
yes,
What time is it?
it's Go Time.
It's go time.
Awesome. Well, we had some fun, obviously, last Sunday night, and it's just amazing. And, well, I want to actually celebrate some of the generosity that happened last Sunday evening. That was really the start to this 2-year initiative. So I'm thrilled to announce that after Sunday night, we had 31 families who committed early to Go Time that evening. Come on, let's... Yeah. It's just amazing. It was amazing to see some of the families make sacrifices, to make some decisions like that. And again, this is just the start. Right? Next week, we all get to jump in. Next week, we all get to play our part. And I'm excited for that. Right? I'm super pumped for that. I'm also pumped just to share a little bit of numbers and some things that some households declared. Again, 31 households declared it was Go Time. And for 4 of those 31 households, they were brand new givers to LifeChange Church. Come on. Right? Listen, honestly, that's one of the most exciting things. Watching somebody take a first step in trusting God with their finances and tangibly trusting God. Again, that's our goal. Our goal is 100% engagement. 100% engagement. And for some of us, maybe we're just like those 4. Maybe we've never given to LifeChange Church. And next Sunday, when we make a decision, it's going to look radical in our lives. Right? It's going to be a start to some generosity. It's going to be a start to some faith that we've never taken before. And I would challenge you this week, I would challenge you to pray through that commitment card, to pray through what that looks like for you as you make a sacrifice and as you think through this and as you become generous next week and declare it's Go Time. Again, don't stand on the sidelines. I want to challenge you to go all in. There's some other exciting things too. I want to share this with you. There's a couple more results, a few cases I want to share. So listen in, and I want you to hear this. Right? In one case, we had a family who multiplied their giving by 4 times. Right? They went from $2,000 in the past 2 years to $8,000 in the next 2 years. Come on, like that's amazing, right? We had another family that more than doubled their generosity. They went from $24,000 over the last 2 years to $50,000 in the next 2 years. Like that's amazing. Another family, they multiplied their giving 5 times by going from $480 in the past 2 years to over $2,400 in the next 2 years. Right? And there was another family that doubled their giving as well, more than doubled their giving, going from $12,000 the past 2 years to $29,000 the next 2 years for Go Time. Right? Let's just celebrate that right now. Like, that's some amazing stuff. Like, this is what Go Time is about. It's about taking a challenge and taking a step of faith. And there's some of us in this room that next week, it's gonna look like a radical increase like that. Right? And I want to
She was in the Army. She was stationed in northern Japan. We started looking for friends. They invited us to church, and we went. I was like, I really like this, and I started studying the Bible with them. I was baptized August 12th, 1996. When we moved back to the States, we kind of went fishing. We lost interest in church, and then we moved out here, and we wanted to get more tied in with this community.
It was COVID, and there weren't in-person meetings at the time. And then we found out that Corbin's group was doing out in the yard, and they were worshiping and praying together. Very friendly, very open, very family-oriented. And there is a lot of families, which I think is really cool too.
Yeah.
You see the different generations. Well, you got to say you love Corbin.
Well, yeah. Corbin's a lot of fun.
I think that's huge in a church, is just somebody who's willing to tell the truth about their own life
Right.
and not set themselves up above and just tell you straight up, this is how my life is, and this is what I deal with, and I just really appreciate that.
I've been going to the Saturday morning men's group. We get real there. We get sometimes a little too real. That's great because that builds community, that builds trust. Some of these guys, I feel like I can pull them aside and say, hey man, I have an issue. I need to talk to someone. That sense of having a community is so important to me, and that's definitely something I love.
We want to make sure that we're giving back to our community and do what needs to be done to not only lead people to God, but care for people in the community. And we feel like LifeChange is definitely the place that will do that. When you start giving, it's love for your family and taking care of your family. You don't realize how much you get back. We lived paycheck to paycheck for a long, long time, so it was scary to think about giving anything. 10% is hard, is really hard when you think about it. But doing it, we've never struggled. We haven't struggled since. When I hear go time, I think of military and action, and it's go time. We're gonna go fight, go into battle, and do what we gotta do, get it done.
When I hear go time, it means to get serious, get busy. It's also grow time, right? It's time to make things happen. The thing that's exciting about growing with LifeChange is building up that community again. I'm going to bring it back full circle to the word community. That's big with me because I truly believe that that's where the true church is. Sunday mornings are inviting to new people that might be curious about Christianity, but outside of Sunday morning, that's where the community, that's where the heart's at.
This is an exciting time. It'd be great to see it grow and change other people's lives. Looking forward to it.